Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to a debate between two luminaries of the 20th century. Today we have Sir Winston Churchill and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, known to the world as Mahatma Gandhi. Tonight they debate colonialism and independence, two themes that have defined their public lives. Let the intellectual tussle begin.
Good evening. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Colonialism, for all its perceived flaws, brought a level of governance, a sense of order to what was once chaotic. The British Empire, through its vast colonies, brought modernization, advancements in infrastructure, and global trade.
Good evening. Mr. Churchill, while I respect your viewpoint, I must respectfully disagree. The cost of this order and modernization has been the subjugation of millions. The price of progress cannot be human dignity.
Pray tell, Mr. Gandhi, how would you have maintained order with your ahimsa? Nonviolence may sound like an idealistic dream, but the reality of human nature calls for a stern hand.
Indeed, nonviolence is not a weapon of the weak, it is a weapon of the strong. It is easy to raise a hand in anger, Mr. Churchill, much harder to turn the other cheek. Our goal was never to maintain order through fear, but through mutual respect.
And what, Mr. Gandhi, would you have done about the global recognition that India enjoys today, the trade that feeds millions, the modern infrastructure? Would you have achieved these without the empire?
Recognition built on the backs of oppressed millions is hollow. Trade that profits off the resources of the subjugated, furthering only the empire's interests, is exploitation, not progress. And infrastructure? At what cost, Mr. Churchill?
Idealistic words, Gandhi. But idealism does not run nations.
And yet, it was idealism, a belief in truth and non-violence that led India to freedom, Mr. Churchill.
Let me remind you, Mr. Gandhi, of your own words. The good man is the friend of all living things, you said. Isn't it a contradiction that the benefits of modern life, which you Indians seem to enjoy, were made possible through the empire's work that was at odds with your ideals of self-sufficiency and non-violence?
Mr. Churchill, the philosophy of non-violence doesn't dismiss progress. It seeks progress through means that are ethical, sustainable, and just. Indeed, there were benefits, but one must ask, were they worth the price we paid? The lives lost, the dignity stolen, the self-worth of a nation undermined for centuries? Is that an acceptable cost for a railway line or a post office?
These notions of dignity and self-worth, Mr. Gandhi, they seem subjective, malleable. On one hand, you call for dignity, and on the other hand, you promote the idea of living a simple life, denying the fruits of progress. Isn't that contradictory?
Progress isn't about accumulating material wealth, Mr. Churchill. It's about elevating our understanding, our empathy, our compassion. That's where dignity comes in. It's not subjective, but universal. A simple life is not the denial of progress, but a rejection of unnecessary excesses.
You talk of compassion and empathy. But Mr. Gandhi, these are not currencies that the world trades in. Power is, strength is. And it is these that have made the British Empire what it is.
True, Mr. Churchill, but it's also true that it was the strength of non-violent resistance that ultimately led to India's independence. There are different kinds of strength, different kinds of power. The power of love, the power of truth, they might not hold any value in the stock market, but they hold immeasurable value in the hearts of people.
Mr. Gandhi, your non-violent movement did indeed result in India's independence. I won't deny that. But your ideal of a world without an army, a police force, or even a governing body, it's unrealistic, don't you think?
Mr. Churchill, I speak of a world governed not by force, but by understanding and mutual respect. I speak of self-governance, where each individual is responsible for their own actions and consequences.
And yet, Mr. Gandhi, history tells us that humans have an innate desire for power. In a world without law enforcement, without a governing body, don't you think the strong would overpower the weak? Where's the justice in that?
I agree, Mr. Churchill. Humans do seek power, but it is the current societal structure that directs that power towards domination and control. If we change the structure, if we promote love, understanding, and self-reliance, then the same power can be used to lift others up, not oppress them.
Mr. Gandhi, this utopia you speak of, It's inspiring indeed. But one must ask, how do you plan to transition from our current state to this ideal world?
By change, Mr. Churchill. Not the kind that comes with violence and force, but the kind that comes with understanding and acceptance. By educating individuals about their rights, their potential, and the importance of communal harmony. By promoting a culture of peace, equality, and self-reliance. It's a long journey, but every step counts.
A compelling vision, Mr. Gandhi, but history has shown us the practicality of defense forces, of governance. You cannot ignore the fact that these systems, albeit flawed, have provided order, stability. They've protected countries from invasions, maintained law and order within territories. Your proposition, though idealistic, overlooks these realities.
Mr. Churchill, I am not dismissing the importance of order or stability, but if the cost of such stability is oppression, inequality, and violence, then perhaps it is time we envision a different reality. It is my firm belief that fear-based control is not the solution. It's mutual respect and understanding that can bring lasting peace and order.
Your philosophy is admirable, Mr. Gandhi, but the world is not as forgiving or respectful as you hope for it to be. Violence, war, greed. These are not just aspects of governance or societal structure. These are aspects of human nature.
And it is here that we disagree, Mr. Churchill. I believe that love and truth are inherent in all of us. They are more powerful than hatred or greed. It's the circumstances, the societal conditioning that bring out these negative aspects. If we can change the conditioning, we can bring out the goodness. It's not easy, but nothing worth having ever is.
You present a perspective that is hard to dismiss, Mr. Gandhi. But the world is not black and white. There are gray areas, nuances that cannot be addressed with broad generalizations. I believe in a world where power is balanced, where each nation has the right to protect its people and their interests. Your philosophy, though noble, seems to overlook these complexities.
Mr. Churchill, power, when used responsibly and ethically, is not what I oppose. It's power used for domination, control, and personal gain that I stand against. I'm not overlooking the complexities of the world. I'm simply challenging the current narrative.
And that, Mr. Gandhi, is where we differ in our perspectives. I maintain that strength and the will to exert it when necessary is vital for maintaining peace. One cannot simply hope that peace will prevail without the deterrent that strength provides.
Strength indeed is necessary, Mr. Churchill, but we must not forget that there is strength in love, in truth, in nonviolence as well. Strength is not only physical or military, it's also moral and spiritual. If we can tap into that, we can create a world where the use of force becomes redundant.
A world without the use of force. Now that's a vision to aspire towards, but it remains to be seen whether such an idea can be practically implemented. I'll remain for the time being a pragmatic skeptic.
A skeptic who listens and considers other perspectives is a sign of an open mind, Mr. Churchill. My belief in nonviolence and love doesn't make me oblivious to the realities of the world. It just reinforces my faith that there can be an alternative, a more humane approach.
A thought-provoking discourse indeed, Mr. Gandhi. While we might not see eye to eye on several matters, it has been enlightening to understand your perspective.
And I, in turn, have appreciated understanding your point of view, Mr. Churchill. It is only through such exchanges that we can hope to grow and evolve.
Incredible debate, wasn't it? If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. We value your opinions in the comments below. Stay tuned for more engaging conversations from history. Until then, stay curious.